Okay, so this came from Shams just a couple minutes ago. John Wall and the Rockets have agreed to where John Wall will not play for the team this season. He will go to training camp, but that's the gist of it. In the article, it says like the Rockets and John Wall had a meeting about the direction of the team. They want to protect John's health and all that. For John Wall's sake, I mean, he's going to be getting paid anyway. They have not discussed a buyout, so I guess this is how it's going to be. And this might be a normal thing in the NBA from now on. I mean, we saw the Thunder do this with Al Horford a year ago. Of course, it's going to depend on the player, the age, the contract, where that player is in their career, all that stuff. But I don't know if this was a thing that happened all the time back in the day. Maybe it did. But what does this mean for the Rockets? Well, it means immediately more shots for Jalen Green, more shots for Christian Wood. And that was something I was concerned about was, John Wall, sure, he can pass, but he likes to run the show to the point where other guys are sometimes just watching him do everything. And I didn't love that for Jalen Green. Well, now that's not really a thing. But to think about this more from just John Wall's future and what the Rockets can do here, I mean, look, man, if they haven't discussed a buyout, at least right now, I still don't really know how you're going to find a trade, at least this year. Next year when John Wall isn't expiring at $47 million, well, potentially. But right now, 2 years with about $100 million owed to the guy or whatever it technically is, I just don't know who's trading for that. I mean, maybe it'd be a little easier at the deadline. As I take a quick scan around the league for teams that could use a point guard who hopefully doesn't want to shoot the ball a million times at this point, but can be a playmaker, can be an inside scorer, and all that. I mean, I don't want to imply that John Wall isn't good, especially if he's on a team that's ready to win a little bit more. The one team I think of is the Clippers, but to trade for John Wall's contract, which is, $44 million this year, you need to put together $35 million in salary, and besides Eric Bledsoe's contract, everybody else there is someone that they'd want to hold on to, so they'd either have to be willing to move like Marcus Morris or Luke Kennard or something, or it's just not going to happen. So that would be the one team. Besides that, as I scan around the league, it's just tough to find the obvious team. I mean, everybody's either got a point guard or they're not really at a point right now where they're trying to maximize winning. They wouldn't want to move young guys or shuffle what they've got going around too much for John Wall, so it's just tough. So yeah, now with that said, that means John Wall will end up somewhere else. Now again, if it doesn't happen this year, next year he will be a little easier to move because he'd be an expiring contract, but based on the language here, I don't know if the Rockets would treat John Wall as just an expiring and a move if it gets that far. I do think they're putting more of a responsibility on themselves to get him somewhere that he wants to go. Now, if it is going to end up being a buyout, then it would make sense for it to be later on this year or at the middle of next season, because then you've paid a portion of the salary, the hit isn't as big, and hopefully you don't have to stretch the contract. It would be like a Blake Griffin sort of buyout. So we'll see. I think the other thing to think about too with the Rockets is, are they going to be the worst team in the league this year? I mean, they are interesting. Christian Wood, I mean, the guy just put up 20-something points a game. The inside scoring, the three-point shooting, going off the dribble. We'll see if they agree to an extension with him this season or whatever. Jalen Green, of course, the shot creation, the being able to score from anywhere on the court, already able to beat guys off the dribble. You've got Sengun for his inside scoring and his post skills if they really throw him the ball like that. You have Josh Christopher, who people are interested in. We'll see. Kevin Porter, of course, he can take it off the dribble. Is he going to be more of a passer or a scorer? Of course, he had the 50-point game. Jayshawn Tate, who a lot of NBA nerds liked last season. Like, they've got guys here. I just don't know if they're going to be that good, which is maybe best for them in the long term, where they have one more season of not being so good, which is fine because it's Jalen Green's rookie season. I think that's pretty normal. And then you start to try to win a little bit more after you take whoever you're going to take in next year's draft. The only potential thing would be if Christian Wood was like, all right, I'm tired of losing, 1 year left on my contract. Is he going to try to want out? Again, we'll see if an extension can be agreed upon between the two parties this year. But yeah, man, this John Wall thing, okay, he's not going to be playing.